Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper bringing you another game of StarCraft 2. Tonight my opponent will be Paris, who is Platinum, and as you can see 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. So hopefully we can bring you a good game on this getting late but not too late afternoon. So did preload the map this time, hopefully we won't see 30-second load, and there we go. So map is going to be Delta Quadrant. I will be the blue Zerg. Am I ever anything but Zerg? Over here in the 2 o'clock position versus Paris, the red Protoss, up here in the 10 o'clock position. So, pretty interesting game. There's going to be some cool stuff going on. I was meaning to bring about a series of replays about early aggression and, what I think seems to be a pretty good way, at least in the level of play that I'm at right now, for a Zerg to fend off against it. But going back and looking at those replays, I'm like, wow. I just wasn't happy with the way I played in them. I'll probably post them anyway, just maybe as an example of how you can get lucky. But I really don't think that I would want to use those to say this is a definitive strategy for how to defend against, early game aggression from either Protoss or Terran or Zerg, because the 3 games I had picked out for them. I won all 3 games. Yes, did I manage to push them back? Yes, but I wasn't overly happy with the performance of any one of them. So anyway, that's a rant for a different day. Checking out the income tab. Both 10 out of 10 right now. I'm going to go for the build that I've been pretty happy with. 8 Overlord, 14 Gas, 13 Drone, 14 Pool now. Gonna have to do a little study, see if it's better or more economical to go to 9 workers than to the Overlord, and then be supply capped for a little bit, and then pump out 2 right away. I've heard a lot of people in the forums tell me that it's better to do the 9 Overlord, but it just seems that when you do the 8 Overlord, you're not supply capped at all, but I could be completely off base with that, so if I ever get around to it, I might not. Check back into it, going for the gas. I like to have all 3 workers queued up, ready to go. And look at what he's doing. Pretty standard play so far. Have I seen any of this at all? So no, I have not seen any of this, and I did take the long way scouting this time. As you can see, I went down here, went over here, went over here. Always a good thing to post an Overlord. Your Overlord's your bro. He should be chilling right up here to tell you if that probe's coming in there. Definitely saw the probe, so I'm chilling. But I've got my Overlord coming over here, who's like, broski, you've got Protoss. And now my drone's going to come in here, and he's going to scout it out. So my probe is going to see that we've got 1 gateway, a 2nd gateway, a couple pylons going on. So something that I've found very helpful that I can do with my drone, get to it eventually, is I try to queue up, just a little movement pattern around the front right here. As you can see, that wasn't a very good movement pattern right there. And what you can do is, you can see right down here that I've got my hatchery hotkeys, so 4 SD. You can continue to pump drones. Once you have the hotkeys learned, you can just go through, and I can continue scouting over here, keeping an eye on my food counter, kind of knowing what's going on, seeing this, that he's just now got that 1 Zealot out. I'm really comfortable at this point, knowing that I don't have any Zerglings out. I am starting to get speed, which is why I got that early gas, and I tend not to pull a worker off of the gas, just because I know I'm going to need it at some point. I guess I did this game just because I wanted a little bit more mineral output, because I am going to be dropping a few spine crawlers here pretty soon, because I know I don't necessarily need the gas right away, because spawning pool, speed, I'll try to go pretty much right for 2 queens. I like the 2 queen idea because it's very helpful, in early aggression. The queens right here, they can do a little bit of scratch, not bad. Very few Zerg units you can actually say have 175 health with 1 armor right off the bat, and they're great anti-air. If you see 1 or 2 Void Rays come rolling over the base, the best thing that you can have early game is have a couple queens, or hope to God that you tech quick to Hydra, which I just don't see too much of that play happening in any games. Let's go back to the everyone view. Let's see what's going on over here. Check out the army tab. Way outspent me in army, although 404 Zealots are chilling here. They're going to be all for ire. This guy standing over here in the hot gates. He's not going to let anyone through. These Lings, they don't stand a chance. They're not going to get through him. Another thing I like to do, post an Overlord, particularly on Delta Quadrant back here that way. Probably should put 1 more over here until I have a base going over here. That's always good to have some over here. That way they're not getting warp nexuses or anything else in the back of your base. Very helpful. Macro slipping up a little bit as I could be injecting. You will inject when you're ready to inject. There you go. So going on, I still I've got my second queen, and this is actually going to be a very late lair for me. I think I just completely slipped. There we go. Probably could have had that lair going just a little bit earlier. I think I've got all drones going back on gas. Let's go back to the income here. Right here, so both income staying pretty consistent throughout the entire game, although his does seem to be a little bit higher than mine, you know, kind of fluctuating back and forth, but it's all good. So I'm going to be going for the mutiling play that I've been using a lot lately. I threw up a forum on StarCraft's Battle.net, see if anyone else reads it, because this just seems to be the predominant build that is working out very nicely against, you know, all races. The only problem I've been having myself personally with it is early Zerg aggression of, you know, 15 to 20 speedlings running into your base, you know, unless you're really prepared for it with a couple spines and, you know, a healthy amount of your old speedlings. It's just tough to deal with that many little fast guys because they get their bonus on your creep. They totally benefit from the hard work that you've done to benefit your own Zerg. And I set this guy up here, so pause that for a second. Popped him up here just to see what's going on. Now, I didn't see anything up here. I have no clue that he's got this Twilight Council, Cybernetics Core, or that he's going Stargate. This really threw me for a loop. Let's play this again because this is a long game. This really threw me for a loop because going up here, I'm like, oh, 2-gate, I saw some Zealots, I saw some Stalkers. Like, this is going to be, you know, same old Protoss shit that I've been dealing with. I'm going to throw up an expansion down here because everybody loves expansions. So I'm thinking my Spine Crawlers are perfect. You know, I've got a decent number of Lings right now. Could use a few more as far as that goes, but that's alright. I'm getting my Mutas up, breaking down this rock over here, and I'm actually going to end up canceling this expansion because right about the time, yep, I'm like, wait, these rocks are almost dead here. Why am I going to expand out here in the open where it's just probably going to get charged by a lot of Lots and Stalkers? I'm going to have to back off to here just to defend it anyway. We got a Phoenix coming in here. Great use of the Phoenix to scout. I love the way these guys move. It's like when they bank around corners, it's like they turn around and just shoot, and they're like, fuck you, I'm getting away from you. I don't want anything to do with you. Now, he could be going through, he could be popping my Overlords, but he's really not interested in that. He's just scouting, he's just taking his time, seeing what's out there. You know, he does, threw down my expansion now, waiting until he left. I'm going to try to spread my creep out here and get as much vision as I can. Knowing that he's over here, I can probably get my creep right out to here, you know, really close to his base. Keep this little Ling, Hero Ling with +1 attack upgrade over by the Zelnaga. Hopefully tell me if anything's going to be coming, but that won't matter because I have no clue that he's going Void Rays. I think I'm going to see Stalkers, Sentries, and, you know, frickin' Zealots, maybe a few Colossi, but I have no clue that this is coming to me. And I haven't even deployed my first, have I deployed any? Let's go to the units, that's always helpful. You know, I haven't even deployed any of my Mutalisks yet. I think I didn't even realize that my Spire was finished. I'm going for, you know, faster Overlords just because if the Phoenixes come in, I want them to at least stand a little bit of a chance at trying to get away, because I do plan on having Mutas at some point in this game. Anytime now would definitely be nice to get some Mutas. Let's check back up on the income tab. He's definitely soaring ahead of me as far as income goes. I have not been, you know, macroing up. The saturation on this base is looking pretty healthy. I think I've got enough drones in there. I've got a couple queens. You know, there's a fair number of Lings here, and that would be, you know, probably pretty sufficient to take out this ground force, but I've really got nothing to deal with these two Void Rays. I could say that I've got 2 queens, but, you know, only one of them has enough energy to transfuse, so if the Void Ray is, you know, 50-50 chance to target this one, what are you going to do? You know, you really can't do much with that. This queen could, you know, run up the creep ramp and get over there. And I'm going to try to get this expansion up and running, but you can see he's soaring ahead of me economically. And I'm sorry this is a little bit of a boring game, but it actually picks up very, very good in, you know, we're just going to say in chapters, right around Chapter 3. So we're ending Chapter 2 where, you know, a little bit of early game scouting. We're winning to mid-game scouting. We're both kind of settling in on our builds. He's totally tricking me out right now. I don't even know if he deploys any more ground forces this entire game. You know, he's got 2 starports going, he's chrono boosting out those Void Rays, and I've now decided that Mutalisks are a good thing to have in a Mutiling build. I generally do not use Banglings against the Protoss because they're really only good against Zealots, and I just feel that the Zerglings having the ability to surround and do that overall DOT is way better than having that initial explosion just because it's not nearly as effective against Protoss as what you see, like taking out a Marine Marauder Bomb. Well, this is cool. Phoenixes right here are basically the anti-Mutalisk. I mean, if played